mental loved ones, and people we know, and even people that we don't know that are homeless and living in the street with no place to go. So I am reminded of a song that came out many, many, many moons ago. Some of you on here, I know you're too young to remember this particular song. So my dynamic engineer, Yahuda, he's pulling it up. So for those of you that are old school like me, let's see if you remember this song. It was very powerful back in its day. I'm gonna guess and say it came out in 1994. It was some sisters that sang it. It'll be on soon. So you guys go ahead, share this, tag a few people. If you know people that are going through some things, go ahead and give them a tag and ask them to listen in, because you know what? They might hear something that you have introduced them to that can help them, that can save their lives, that can change their outlook on life. And you guys are able to call in. I put the number on Instagram. I'm going to add it to my other streaming views in just one moment. I'm adding it now, so bear with me. Don't go anywhere. So if you guys want to call in and talk to me about mental health, or if you have a question about something else, we can do that. We're not restricted just to mental health. You guys know that about me. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it. Yes, Yahuda, he found it. So you guys enjoy this song with me. And if you know it, sing it. And if you remember it, let me know. Thank you, sir. I love this. As you think about people who are homeless, scarcity of food, family, love, clothing, shelter, shoes. All day. Children are afraid to say how to be. And others look down and they call me crazy. If they only knew what's inside my heart, no one will know when I start to push my heart too far. Hey, I got no place to go. You are so blessed if you have family, if you have friends, if you have a place where you can lay your head that is warm, if you have big dogs named Maximus, you are indeed blessed. But we do know that there are people living who are not. And many times when we see homeless people, we think it's drugs, it's drugs, it's drugs. That is the typical thought that comes to the minds of people. But guess what? I'm here to let you know, most of the time, it's mental health. Even if it is drugs, it is mental health. And guess what? It can happen to any one of us at any given time. My name is Dr. Tatanisha Timms. I am a clinical psychologist. I'm located here in the lovely city of Los Angeles, California. And I want to say welcome to each and every one of you that are taking time out of your day to watch little old me. And guess what? You are welcome to call in. I put the number there. It is on Instagram. It is on StreamYard, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch. It's going to be on Twitter if they will stop playing around. And Mr. Elon Musk, he just has too much power and control for me. But anyway, um, and I think I said Facebook already. So welcome, you guys. The number is 747-260-0268 if you want to call in. Also, I'm able to look at some of the chats, but I don't want to miss anything. So please feel free to call in. So I just want to bring back to the forefront mental health. What is mental health? There are so many categories, labels, and names of mental health. We will not get into them all, but there are some general things that I want you guys to understand about mental health. And let's talk about what we've already kind of dived into already. We're talking about people that we see on the streets that are pushing baskets, those who many of us stigmatize in our minds or in our conversations, that are homeless because somewhere down the line they did something to jack up their lives, not accounting for mental health. And I'm here to tell you that the majority of the people that you see on the street are there because of mental health. How do they get there, Dr. T? Well, I'm here to let you know. Many times people are either undiagnosed or have improper diagnoses. That is what happens. So, what does that mean? Well, I can take you all the way back to elementary school. Let's say that little Joe is in class and he's acting up, right? Or little Joe might be that student in the back corner who's very quiet. He causes no problem. Either way, he's passed along either to get him out the classroom so that he can graduate or culminate from elementary school to middle school to high school. So now he's no longer a problem. Or if he's that quiet student, well, he deserves to go ahead and graduate, culminate and graduate. He deserves that. But guess what? All of that time, little Joe barely learned how to spell his name. And it's not funny because this is something that actually happens all the time. Kids are passed on to get them out of the way. I recently had a friend, I told her, have me a part of your IEP meeting so I can help your kid. She didn't do that. Now, I volunteered to do it for free because I'm a specialist at it. I've been doing this almost 30 years. I could do it in my sleep while tap dancing. Oh, Yahuda, this one is not charging. It's about to die. But she didn't do it. And guess what happened? They labeled her child as having an emotional disturbance. Little black boy. Nothing angers me more. And guess what they did? They tried to ship him off to a school with all other little black boys with that same label. Guess what's going to happen? He's going to get in that classroom and he's going to adapt the ways of those other little black boys that were left there to just act like little fools with almost no learning that occurs. And I hate to say this, but that's what happens when you get that title of having an emotional disturbance. So it angered me because she did not call on me and said, oh, I thought because your grandma passed, you weren't available. Well, I never told you that. Because grandma passed, I need to stay busy, right? Some people need to stay busy. Some people need to take a trip. Some people need to drink and smoke. I like to stay busy. So I said, well, I never told you I wasn't available. Oh, well, they're still on the call 2 hours later. I'm a professional. I'm not going to go into a meeting 2 hours late. I don't do that. So whereas I could charge $400 or $500 an hour for my time, I'm offering you my time for free. You don't take advantage of it. Nothing I can do about that. So I told her, see if they'll have the meeting later or schedule it for a time Monday or Tuesday next week, and I'll do my best to participate. All right. So I haven't heard anything else. But guess what happens to young men like that when situations like that are allowed to go on? Those sometimes are the people that you see that are on the street pushing baskets or people who end up on a skid row. I hate to say it, but that's what happens. Or let's talk about the little Joe that's quiet and is just passed on, passed on, passed on, passed on. Never had any evaluation, never been diagnosed with anything. And guess what? He doesn't know how to count change, or he barely knows how to spell his name, Joe. And then when he gets older, guess what happens? It comes out that, wow, something's off with this man. Because see, now he's a man. And nobody's pacifying him. He's no longer able to sit back in the back and be quiet because he has to make a living for himself and his girlfriend or his wife and his children. But guess what? He becomes easily frustrated, never diagnosed, under the radar because he's not a problem at all. And guess what happens? He snaps. He breaks. Thank you, Yahuda. And guess what happens? The only thing he knows how to do is push that basket because it gives him comfort. No one is really bothering him. He's able to be in the world of his own and by himself. It's working. Thank you. So these are the things that happen and that are happening when you look around and you see people pushing baskets. Bathing is not an issue. Hygiene is not an issue. Them trying to keep it together to keep from snapping on you and me sometimes becomes the greater issue. So it is very important that we are paying attention to our children, to our loved ones, and even to ourselves. The other thing I want you to know about mental health, for those of you who like to experiment with certain drugs and liquor and to let it all out, especially when you're young, adolescent, 18, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. Sometimes mental health issues can be there and lay what we call dormant, meaning that they have not yet manifested themselves. They haven't yet shown themselves to be there. And you can have something called a trigger. It can be a trigger that is brought out because you decided to simply smoke some weed. Something as simple as weed can trigger that thing and bring it out. So you have to be very, very careful. All right. Or don't do it at all. That's the safest way. So in mental health, why is it that Black folk, such as myself and many of you, are not getting treated? Yahuda, what have you found out? Why are we not getting treated? What's wrong with us? What's going on? There's mental health services out there. What's happening?
I might be the wrong person to ask about this because
Why? You're mental?
yeah,
He said, yeah.
I don't know about like when I'm talk to somebody about my problems for it, like it just doesn't make no sense to me personally.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I see people who go to therapists all the time,
Uh-huh.
and I don't want to be like those people.
What do you mean?
They just look like they're always on the edge of unraveling, you know. And I think it's because you're constantly reliving something. And this is clearly speaking from somebody who's never had therapy. So I don't actually know what's actually, and that could be the main reason we don't go to therapy because we don't know what's actually happening.
Okay.
Right. So that would be my main reason for not going because I don't know what's going on in there.
Okay.
And the people I see come out of there, they look a little unraveled.
Do you think perhaps they're going to therapy because they're unraveled?
That could be the I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I've never even been in a therapist class. So I have no. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. So from the outside looking in, I can see that I don't know what you I don't want to talk about my childhood. I'm not a child.
Okay.
There's nothing I can do about what happened to me when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's nothing I can do.
Well, that is one form of therapy. But you can go back into the childhood, but you don't have to.
Okay, that says one. There's nothing I can do about the past. So
okay.
I don't talk to nobody about nothing I can't fix.
Okay. Fair enough. Right. Fair enough.
We can talk about something I can currently fix.
Okay. That's a form of therapy. That's one form of therapy. So you can do it either way.
But I feel like most of the issues I have, I can just take a hot shower and figure it out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I never heard of hot shower therapy, but you know, perhaps sensory, some type of sensory.
Yeah, hot shower therapy works for me every time.
Well, I will say this. One of the things that you touched on are the stigma that are assigned to therapy. Now, I can tell you this, and I've said this before many times. Growing up as a child, we were taught whatever goes on under this roof stays under this roof, meaning that we did not discuss with anybody anything that happened in the household because we weren't allowed to. And being 50 years old today, almost 50, I can tell you this, being a therapist, that's how a lot of incidents which occur in the home, such as incest, molestation, and things like that, that's how a lot of children suffered because they weren't allowed and they were afraid. They were afraid they would be killed or parents would be murdered if they talked about those subjects outside of the home because they were made to believe that they had been told that those things would occur if they went against the family, if they told on mommy, if they told on daddy or uncle or auntie or cousin or brother or sister. So there is indeed a stigma that is affiliated with that. And most Black folk that I know were also taught we don't talk about what goes on outside this home.
That makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. I think I don't want to put the onus on the children. Okay. Tell the victim they need to go report something that's happened to them that could possibly be embarrassing.
It's shame. Mm-hmm.
Shameful, right? So, like with my nieces, like if something happened to one of my nieces, I don't expect them to come to me and tell me.
Okay.
Right?
Why not?
The children.
Okay.
Well, why would they? Like it makes sense as an adult to tell them.
Okay.
I want to help them. Mm-hmm. But knowing, like as a child, that's not a realistic thing.
Okay.
The only thing I can do is create an environment where we have open conversation.
Okay.
So that they at least have a pathway if they choose to take this route. It's not a foreign thing to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think a lot of times in Black families, at least, there's never an open line of communication.
Right.
And I think more so than telling the kid they need to go tell somebody is if there was an open line of communication, a lot of stuff wouldn't happen.
Very true.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of people don't talk to their kids.
A lot of people.
You don't like a teacher. I think that's why teachers do it. Mm-hmm. So they spend all the day with their kids. They know when this kid go home, this parent ain't talking to this kid.
Right.
They're not gonna ask this kid nothing.
Right.
He had the same clothes on yesterday.
Right.
So no one cares.
Right.
They're not gonna do it to somebody when the parents at every meeting.
Right.
They go home and say, my mama told me.
Right.
My dad said about what you said. So
yes.
No, somebody cares.
Right.
Somebody gonna say something.
Somebody's paying attention.
Somebody's paying attention.
Right.
So I think it's
very true
on that part of the table versus the kids. Like I can't imagine being 7 or 8, something happened to me, and me going to tell my mom. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just can't. So I wouldn't expect the kid to come tell me.
Yeah.
I would like to just make an environment that they can exist in and be like, hey, you know, well, this happened to me. Like, and I think that you have to be honest with kids and understand, like, I know at 10, I started getting curious. Okay. So with all little boys at 10, I'm going to talk to you about it. Right. Right. I'm not going to wait for you to do something. Right. Because I know you're going to do something. Right. So at 10, I know what's going on. Right. We're going to have a conversation. Yeah. Nip it in the butt right now. Right. So whatever age little girls start getting freaky and curious, you need to start talking to them. Yes, you do. And just be blunt. Look. Yes. This is why you can't be around men. Right. This is why you can't go hug everybody. Right. And not sugarcoat it. Because everybody's not a good person. No, that's not true. No, that's right. These are grown adults. Right. This is what they do. You're a child. Right. And I tell people, I said, listen, when God created good, he created evil. So you can't go around thinking that there's only good in the world. That would not be true. That's not a true statement. Right. All right. So another reason that we as Black folk don't access mental health at the rate, let's say, that others do, is because of the access that we have to therapists, in particular Black therapists. Number one, there's not a whole lot of us as Black therapists. One of the reasons is because they make it hella hard. The tests that we have to take, like tests all over the world, is really configured for the standard white person with respect to how they are worded, the experiences with respect to the scenarios that they give is not really congruent to my neighborhood. I'll just say it that way. Not much different than standardized tests since they were put out in the 40s, 46, 64, I forget. I think it started with the Stanford Binet, which was a standardized test that was normed on white children. Do you know why that test was created? This is why I'm against the SAT.
Go ahead.
They were trying to prove that white people were somehow elite.
Right. So
the test, even to today, is based on that standard. Is to prove you're an elite Caucasian male. Or female. Back then, it was just male. They didn't care about the women. Right. So even today, when you take the SAT, what you're saying is how close you are to what they consider to be their perfect, whatever that is. Right. Which is a crazy thing to think about. Yeah. So that's mental issues right there. It is.
It is. Yeah, because many of them believe that we are inferior to them, and we are not inferior to them. We are not inferior people. We're not. The mentality is if you allow yourself to think or feel that way, then you become what you think. And if you are in a household where your parents don't uplift you and tell you that you're more than that, then you become what you're taught. And that's why I feel so honored and blessed to have been raised by dynamic grandparents, because all of the values were instilled in me very, very early. I was fortunate enough to be in the room as my grandmother drew her last breath. And I just thanked her so much for being who she was and making me an exceptional woman. And I told her, I know I'm exceptional because I was taught that and I lived that. And so you've got to know that, and you've got to instill the assuredness in your children so that when they walk this earth and when they take chances and when they apply for colleges or jobs or vocational schools, they do it knowing that all they have to do is get that interview. I just need to be invited to the table because that position belongs to me. And you walk in with your head up in that assuredness, and it belongs to you and it's yours. That's it. You have to be able to do that, and you can do and have whatever you want. So being a Black therapist, for me, I needed to be able to reach the top. So I'm at the top of my game. It makes me feel good. There's no more that I can accomplish in my field. And the best part, I'm able to help other sisters and brothers to do the same thing. So I'm just waiting for them to be like, Dr. T, can you? Yep. Dr. T, can I intern? Yep. And I have extra space in offices. So if anybody is looking for that, and I'm in your field of either school psychology or clinical psychology, all you have to do is reach out. The phone number is on there. Phone number is 747-260-0268. Always happy to help us, because guess what? Nobody helps us but us. Finding an internship and field work is one of the hardest things to do when you're Black, because others rarely want to help us, or they give us such a damn hard ass time. They pretend like they want to help us and see us succeed, and they make it so extra, extra hard. We already know we have to be 2 to 4 steps ahead anyway. But damn, I got to be 6 to 10. That's hard. And so, like I said, I'm happy to help. I'm always volunteering to help people, help their children. If I hear it, I'm like, here's my card. Here's my number. Call me. I think people be like, no, yeah, she really means it. All right. The other reason that we as Black folk don't access therapy is because of the cost of therapy. Now, sometimes, guess what? No. Go back to that. I skipped that. Access to Black therapists, cultural sensitive therapists. This is so important because there's so few Black therapists. The next thing you would want if you had to have a therapist of a different ethnicity, because sometimes you can get a Black one and they don't know nothing about Black folks. Let me tell you, I've had a couple. So you can't go by the skin color of a person. You cannot go by the skin color of a person. That can be so misleading to your soul, okay? Don't get fooled. Access to Black therapists and culturally sensitive therapists. Just because my skin color is Black does not mean that I am an American Black woman. Doesn't mean I'm from America. We are everywhere on this planet. We come from everywhere. If you look at my genetic makeup, I am from Africa. I am from Ireland. I am from West Africa, East Africa, all from all the corners of Africa, primarily, and I love it. But what is my cultural? What are my beliefs? My religious beliefs? What is the food that I like? The music that I listen to? Who do I pray to? There's so many things. What are my family values? That speaks to culture. Who do I commune with? That's culture. All right. Very, very important when you're looking for a therapist. Very important. Because if I sat down with someone, let's say that was a monk, or even one that, let's say if I found a nun, I'm just trying to go somewhere to the extreme. That was a therapist. We probably wouldn't have much in common.
Or like, you know, people say, what this is what's going on today. So in today's world, if you ask average European, mm-hmm. their solution is don't whoop your children, talk to them, put them in the corner, right?
That would never work.
Now in our culture, with our children, because of the way we are as beings, it's not going to work. Ever. It's not enough. So, and I think that if you're talking to maybe a white, once again, the preferences, I've never been to therapy, so I can just be making this up.
Okay.
But I'm assuming if I was to talk to a white therapist and they were to ask me if I got whoopings as a child, and I said, yeah, I think that they would assume that that somehow affected me. You know, like naturally, because they probably never got whooped as a kid. You know?
And depending on how old you are, they would probably call DCFS on your parent.
Right. Not knowing I needed a whooping.
Right.
Right. As an adult.
That's a part of your culture.
I can understand I needed a whooping. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was doing too much. So I think as far as when it comes to culture, I think that's very important. Mm-hmm. And like, do you think, I hear this all the time, I don't know if this is a true statement, everyone should see a therapist. This is what people say today. Is that a true statement?
I won't say everyone. I would say a large percentage of people. 80? Maybe 80, especially in light of COVID. What we're finding is that because people were made to stay in the house, it's really done something to the socialization of people and the lack thereof. So I rarely say all of anything, but I would say a large percentage of people have become kind of socially aloof, especially in the schools with the children. It's been really hard getting them to adapt back to just being able to play and to socialize with their friends. It's been hard. And the hardest subject has been math. And you got math teachers that won't even let kids use calculators anymore. It's ridiculous.
I was going to say this, like I just seen a meme the other day. And mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. So it showed a car from 100 years ago.
Okay.
And a car today. Right, we got Teslas or whatever. Back then, you had to throw coal in your car to get them moving.
Right. Or use your yabba dabba doos.
So phones, computers from when they started to today, the only thing on this planet that has remained the same mm-hmm. are schools.
From 100 years ago?
Correct.
Okay.
Classrooms set up the same way.
Yeah.
The teachers in the front.
Mm-hmm.
It's set up. It's the only thing. Everything else, cars, phones, computers, everything else around us has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it makes you wonder what school is actually there for. If it's not evolving to learn, I didn't learn anything in school. The only thing I learned in school is how to be social. Is how to deal with people. That's the only lesson that was of value throughout my entire high school career.
And it's really sad because with technology and even technology in the classroom, that part is right. So these children are suffering.
Right. So
this is what they're doing. Right. I was at my nephew and my niece's house, and my grandnephew, who's all of one, he'll be 2. My little Carter will be 2. Birthday party Saturday. Got to go play with Coco Melon, right? He has my cell phone. He's on the phone looking for the wheels on the bus go round and round. And I'm getting messages and he's swiping. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? He's swiping. I'm like, well, it scared me. So guess what I did? I bought him an iPad. It was fascinating. Right. So, but scary at the same time, because what about the interacting with people, right? What about sitting down at the dinner table or even sitting at the dinner table and
but that's the new culture.
Watching TV, even if it's scary to me.
That's the new culture, you know. It's now I think people can just be in the same household together and that's spending time. Versus, you know, when you were growing up, it was having dinner. Then you go, like, me and my family went out and did a family activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said they had the best time.
Good.
Right? And it was because I think that people just don't do that anymore.
Right.
So you stop and realize, like,
right.
It's fun hanging out with people.
Right. Y'all kind of cool.
Right. As a team and doing something to like as far as mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody left feeling like, wow, I feel a lot better. So you're right. Like I think that's a big thing that's missing in today's culture. That I don't see how it's going to change. Like we're just getting further and further apart as people.
I think if we put some of these electronics down, but if we could. We live so much on our phone. I mean, my work is, I can do a report on my phone. If I make my report a Google Doc, which it is, and if I do it on my phone, I can get it done, and I like it better.
Imagine when so they have an AI now called Chat GPT.
Chat
GPT.
Okay, let me write that down.
So it's basically it's a private AI system. Okay, so basically you can access AI thing to do anything. So let's say you need an assistant, right, which is your typical normal interaction with the person, right? It can teach you how to control your manners and be nice to people and all these things. This is a good thing about having an assistant, you know.
I need that for one of my aunties.
But the Chat GPT, it can literally do any and everything you ask it to do, and it's a computer. So you don't no longer have to interact with people.
Well, that's scary because that cuts down on the socialization again.
But it's becoming ingrained in our culture. DoorDash and all these delivery services, so people not going out to eat at restaurants anymore. They're being social and breaking bread.
And they have robots that can do that too.
So now they're going to take away the delivery.
I saw one.
So now you're not even going to have human contact with your food. It's just going to be
It's robot. Bad enough they took away cashiers at Target and Walmart. You just go swipe your stuff. They look at you on the camera. You know, that is really crazy.
You steal too much stuff, they just arrest you a few years later.
A few years later?
Yeah, they just let you accumulate enough theft, and then they go arrest you.
That's crazy.
It's becoming less and less social, you know. So, you've been in the medical field. How do we counteract that if we can't put the electronics down?
You won't be able to.
There's got to be something as a human beings we can do to.
You'd have to put the electronics down, or you'd have to severe weather, tornado watch. I don't know where that is, but you would have to carve out a few hours a week or a day. We used to have Sunday dinners and rotate them at different family members' homes. We used to do that, and we used to have fun, and nobody was thinking about cell phones, TVs, or nothing. We would all go, and it's a lot of us in my family. We had fun. We would go to different people's homes, and whoever was hosting, you have to drive to their home. Like if I was hosting, they would have to drive to the valley. So when we said we were going to do it again, I was like, I'll do it. So they have to drive to the valley. I'll do it every week. You know, so that's what it is. But it can be done, but it would have to be, and it's so much fun. Like we'll go to my sister's house, like where she is. And she has like in her complex, they have a nice park right outside her door. So we'll take the kids and they play, and then we'll set up like on the benches out there, almost like a barbecue. But we won't have barbecue. We might make a turkey or make some chicken or fettuccine, because one of my sisters is a chef, so she likes to do all the cooking. I ain't got to do nothing but bring some sodas or some water. I got you all day. And you know what I do? Instacart. I'm that auntie, sister. So, you know, it's really cool. But it's a time for the family to get together. The sisters, we get together, we talk, we chop it up. We have a good time. The nephews come, my son will come, you know, so the fellas will get together because we have more men in the family than anything. So it's just really a great time.
So maybe that's the reason, you know, maybe that's why everybody's so depressed. Everybody's on their phone.
And there's no family time.
Maybe it's electronics.
I think so. I think it plays a really large part. What do you guys think? Anybody want to call in? Please do. The number is area code 747-260-0268. Call and talk to Dr. T. I want to know what your thoughts are. Is technology tearing us away?
Do you have like a group of therapists that are from the hood or from like the local areas that people can access? Like, is there like a group chat check out or something, or a website, like ghetto
ghetto therapist?
Yeah, hood therapist. Like, I need a hood therapist. I don't want to.
I'm from the hood.
I need to walk in the therapist's office, and my therapist like, yo, what up? I need a head nod. What up? You know.
You know what? That's pretty much me. I mean, I turn it on, turn it off. You got to know when to use it. But no, I'm not a part of a ghetto group or anything. But I do belong to this Black psychology group that's on Facebook. I'm a part of a Black psychology group on Facebook that has been very, very great, actually. We we put things in the group that help people to like pass these EPPP tests, like I said, that were not structured really for Black folk. Give advice. They want to know what are fair salaries to accept. And I'll tell you, because I'm a clinical psychologist and a school psychologist, my school psychology salary is fatter than most of these clinical psychologists. I got to tell you, when I see things posted, I'm like, woo, I make more than that as a school psychologist. Jeez. The only difference is the reports are longer. But when you have a template, or if you're allowed to just simply copy and paste, because the reports come out in the reports, and then you just, you synthesize the information, because it doesn't make sense to reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what you're talking about. And certainly after almost 30 years of doing this job, I better know what I'm talking about. You don't get promoted and moved up. And I had a job offer to work on the weekends and to train someone for a school district in Camarillo. That's a part of, I think, Oxnard. Mm-hmm. They want me to just train, paying a lot of money per hour just to train via Zoom. Right. I don't even have to drive. That's a no-brainer. No human contact. No human contact. Yes, I'll take it. It is a blessing. That's why grandma's hands, y'all. Got to pay it to the ancestors, right? I'm telling you, I believe in all that. So back to the mental health. High cost is another reason that mental health is not sought out by us. So even though they say you can get Medicare, Medi-Cal, things like that, you have to get these things called approvals, in which the stories I'm hearing is that it could take a very long time to get approvals. If you get approved, you have to show reason and cause why you need mental health services. Okay. And then who wants to go through all of that rigmarole? Right. Who wants to go through all that? I mean, let's be honest about it. First of all, the stigma is what we first said, affiliated and associated with mental health. We don't want to admit that there's a problem, but okay, there might be something here. Maybe I'll just call and see if I can get in on an appointment. How long does it take to get an appointment? And then you get an appointment with someone that you can't relate to. Then you're hoping, well, maybe I have an option to get a therapist who kind of look like language issue. Because I've had some, I can't understand what the heck they're saying. And I feel sorry for children that have teachers where they can't understand what they're saying. I'm like, I can't understand what they're saying. So all of these things are factors. They're factors. And in the end, I'm going to give you some suggestions too on what you can do to kind of mitigate some of these issues before you go out, and so that you're not disappointed, and so that you're not ran away from therapy. There's a few things that you might be able to do. Okay. And now, what can therapy do for you? Like Yahuda was over here saying, what can therapy do for him? He said a hot shower cures him. Well, as we were saying in the beginning of this broadcast, some people don't have hot showers, right? If you're living down on Skid Row, what is the probability that you're going to be able to take a shower, let alone a hot one? Especially on a regular basis. Every time you have an issue, I have an issue just about every day. And there's 365 of them in a year. So there's a lot of things. What can therapy do? Therapy can provide you an outlet to be able to open up and to speak to someone who is not there to judge you. Practically, the person is going to be a stranger to you, but hopefully they can relate to you. It would be nice if they can empathize with you, but at least be able to have some sympathy towards what it is you're going through, or understanding, or a listening ear, or a willingness to be able to open up and to understand what it is you're going through. Because not everyone has had the same experience as you to be able to empathize or sympathize, right? That's just the reality. We don't always have the same experiences, but perhaps they've had experience in the field with another patient, or with themselves, kind of, sort of. Maybe it wasn't Christmas, but it might have been Resurrection Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Or a family member or a friend, or they heard about it, or they studied it when they were in grad school, or they saw it on YouTube. But some kind of way that they can connect the dots, draw the lines, and be able to relate. Relation is what's important when you have a therapist. It should not take a very long time to be able to connect by drawing what we call rapport. And if you can have rapport, and if you are willing to be open with your therapist, and by the same token, if your therapist is willing to be open with you, then you may very well have a good experience with that therapist who is there to help you in whatever way that you need help. Whatever it is. Like I said, they may have apples, you might have grapefruits. Who knows, right? But it's the ability to be able to open up and to be willing to connect on some level. As for me, I usually connect and build rapport very well with my patients. Like, I've never had one curse me out or anything like that. They probably know I'll curse back. I don't know. I just, but I just keep it real. We're people. So you respect people as people, and respect me too. I'm going to respect you. I meet you where you are. If you're speaking using language of a higher echelon and you want to use the dictionary, I can use the dictionary with you. If you want to speak simple terms, we can speak simple. If you want to use the ABC and use the first letters, we can do that too. I meet you where you are, because we are not all of the same caliber. We do not all have the same educational experiences. But guess what? That does not mean that we cannot meet somewhere where we're able to connect. The connections and the relationships are what the most important things are when you are searching for and are considering therapy. You've got to be able to build that rapport. Usually you can build that rapport by the first or the second session. If you don't have it by the second session, that is not your therapist. Do not waste your time. Do not waste your time. Now, most insurances, depending on what you're going to therapy for, will authorize you 6 sessions at a time, is what I've seen. It doesn't mean you can't get more, but they'll start you at 6, then they might grant you another 6. It just depends on who your insurance carrier is, what you're going to therapy for, and of course, what your goals of therapy are. When you first go to therapy, you want to make sure that you have very clear lines with your therapist with respect to what your goals are in therapy. Your therapist should give you a diagnosis of what they believe your mental health issues are. For example, if you go in and they believe you're schizophrenic, they should tell you that you're schizophrenic. Now, Black people, I want you to understand, listen to me very carefully. We are diagnosed more than white people as having schizophrenia, but we're given less medication and less therapy. All right. Probably a misdiagnosis. Just pay attention to it, okay? Um, I used to work for a company that would diagnose you as schizophrenia based on a 30-minute consultation with no test given. I'd be like, you just look at them and tell? Like, okay. Now, white people tend to be diagnosed more as having mood disorder and given medication for mood disorder. So schizophrenia versus mood disorder. Schizophrenia, you're really not getting medication to treatment, but mood disorder, we're going to give you some medication. Weigh it up, right? Oh, God. Depression, that tends to hit us, Black women, especially between the ages of 25 to 44. And if I love the way Yahuda talks about AI, artificial intelligence, because guess what? That is the world that we are living in. So a few stats that I looked up before we started. It is International Women's, I'm going to say month. We're going to take the whole month, ladies. But International Women's Day was on March 8th. And so 22% of women who work globally in artificial intelligence. There are 22% of women who work globally in artificial intelligence. All right. And now looking at those numbers, in 125 countries, 33% of women who are journalists, okay, have suffered online violence in the workplace, being that they are women who are journalists for artificial intelligence who have suffered violence in the workplace. So think about what that can do to mental health, especially working in artificial intelligence. I'm just wondering, how do they keep it all together? Because being able to sometimes delineate between what is real and what is not when you're working and building and growing in this artificial world that is becoming reality, that is like scary to me. What do you think? That's like crazy. How do they keep it separate? Like,
I think I can only speak for my people. So I think as Black people, we have to create our own realities and not exist in other people's realities.
okay.
We don't have to participate in the system. Like if we realize that everybody that's in the system needs therapy, everybody's in the system going through something, maybe we should just get out the system. So that would be my solution, is to, like we've been saying all day, to build a personal culture of within your personal family that protects you from all these mental kind of landmines that you're going to run into, because the world is going to keep evolving into more and more technology, which is going to separate people further and further. Like just the fact that you can FaceTime your parents, right, or your cousin, it makes you not have to drive to go see them. Which is a sad thing. Like, it's convenient.
It is.
But it's a sad thing, because you realize, like, wait a minute, I've known this person half my life, and half the time I've seen them on a phone,
right?
Not even in person,
right?
So that's a sad reality. So I think the only thing we can do to counter react that is keep our traditions and keep our things that we do as a people, and
right?
Not let other people influence those things,
right?
And not try to blend in with everybody's culture, because it's at some point you're gonna look up, it's gonna be too late to turn back.
Right.
There's gonna be 4 or 5 generations of kids with these iPhones, and they're not gonna know nothing about the grandmother house. Or know nothing about what it means to have family time, or take your elbows off the table, or to have a family dinner. Like, right. I see people now, they grab their food, they go eat in the bed.
That would be me, but that's because
no, it's not you, Doc. This is the normal thing now.
Shoot.
Right? Like, even in my household, we rarely said, I don't think we've ever sat at the table
that I gave birth to. And I was like, hey, guess what? I went to Macy's and bought you some clothes today. Like, I was happy to be spending money on my kid. So, you know, but I'm telling you, but all of this, you guys, the knowledge of it all and just everything, we have to on one another. We have to keep check on our relatives that we love, our friends that we love, and even the ones we barely like. I mean, that's the reality. Keeping a mental check so very, very quickly. I don't know who can keep up. I'm barely keeping up, and it's been really crazy since my grandma passed. Y'all gonna always hear me talk about my grandma. And I would like Yahoo to, when we go, if you can display what I showed you with playing Grandma Hands again, Billy Preston. I've been playing that song. It's going to help me through. I acted up last Sunday, boy, to all my people at Pip. Sorry.
That's another part of therapy for me is music,
Yes, it is.
Me and my brother, we grew up listening like Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah.
DMX was a heavy influence,
Oh, my sister, DMX.
Right. And me and my brother, we almost like twins. So like he grew up listening to the same music I listened to. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy now. Like like music is sometimes like you can listen to it and it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then sometimes those songs drudge up the reality of
the
music,
Yeah.
So I think that's very interesting about music. I try to use music a lot as therapy. Sometimes even not so much the words.
Yeah.
Right? Because I realize how much interference words can cause.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just have to put on like an instrumental or something, and just kind of let that vibration kind of be my mood. Well, music is very, very interesting when it comes to especially mental health and how it can trigger something.
Well, music with 5 glasses of wine, I painted Pips purple. Blah! They thought the Exorcist came up in there. I was like, sorry, I lost count. But thank God I was surrounded by my friends. They had my back because I was like, who's driving my Tesla? I had to tell them how to turn it on. You don't want nobody driving your expensive car. I don't. But I just thank God and I praise God. I got home safely. My girl had my back. She was like, I woke up, Nick. I stayed at my friend Diane's house, right? The one you met that came here. I woke up. My hair was braided. We had to keep your hair out your face. So look, even Dr. T has her moments, right? I don't want to trigger no more mental health in my butt. I don't need it. So we're going to go out and hang out tonight. I said, hey, everybody, 2-drink maximum over here, if any at all. My friend said, you need a sippy cup. I'm with it. But, so even when you're grieving, you have to pay careful attention. And that is my grandmother. That is Mother Gladys J. Kilgore. Such a beautiful soul. Beautiful soul. She passed. She was 94 years old. Yes, she was. And just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And all of my upbringing, who I am, the woman that I am today. I didn't even write anything in her obituary. That right there, that's a plaque that I had made for her. The church wanted to have it done. I went ahead and paid for it. I don't care if they reimbursed me or not. It was pretty expensive, but whatever. Nothing I wouldn't do for her and in her honor. But she was just an amazing woman. And it's crazy because I have no sadness. I just miss her. I just miss her. Like when I was down in Compton the other day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see my grandma. And I was like, I can't. And so it's just moments like that. I'm just like, I can't even go see her. She's not even there no more. Things like that. So make sure that you are loving on your loved ones and caring for them. And let me talk about family strife really quickly. Stress can also activate mental health. If you didn't know, now you know. So think about that. Think about that. Think about the stress that you give other people and the stress that other people give you. Okay? It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Let it go. Walk away from it. That shit can kill you. Walk away from stress. We, as Black women, being that it's International Women's Month, let's go and say Black Women's Month, only because that's what I relate to the most, being a Black woman. Heart disease, strokes, heart attacks. Also talking to my brothers, Black men, heart disease, strokes, heart attacks. You hear that? Things dealing with the heart. Stress is killing us disproportionately.
That's on the women.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Did y'all hear him? Did y'all hear Yahuda? I want y'all to call him, women. 747-260-0268, because he talking trash. Talking about it's on the women.
Yeah, just listen. Somebody got to take ownership. Just stop stressing out the men. You know what I'm saying? And men just do a better job of how to treat the women.
So I will say this to you because I believe this. I try to tell women this, and I believe this. Nobody has it worse than a Black man. Since the beginning of time, when I think about how Black men were stripped culturally during slave time from women, all of that stuff was orchestrated to make him to appear to be weak. And so women were forced to be more independent and to take on the role of having to rear children alone in that sense. And so I think that's where this whole stigma, I'll say, of independent women, independent, strong women, and women who believe, not me, that they don't need men. That is the worst thing in the world. So when Black men step outside the house, I always think like this. You got to be worried if you're going to be able to come back home. Look at the state of the world.
The sadder part about it, Doc, is that there's no such thing as an independent woman. It's impossible. You can't be independent in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing works by itself on this planet.
I agree.
It's not even a structure that's available.
I agree.
The sadder part is the delusion that they've cast over Black women, particularly. Like you said, oh, you can raise a child by yourself. You're not. You're the government has become your husband, right? The police has become your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Your boss is your husband now. So it's not that you don't need a man,
right?
Is that you've chosen not to use that man.
Mm-hmm.
You still gonna have a man because if you need somebody to help you, you're gonna call the police.
Mm-hmm.
That's a man. If you need some assistance for your kids, you're gonna call the government. That's another man. If you need your car fixed, you're gonna call a man to come fix your car.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that you don't. There's no such thing as independence. It's just the delusion that they put over you to make you not value the man in front of you. And all of a sudden, he needs all these obligations to fulfill before you respect them.
Right.
When everybody outside that bubble, your job, they've never respected you.
Right.
You give them respect.
Right.
Police don't respect you.
Right.
You respect them.
Right.
You know the government don't respect you.
Absolutely not.
But you respect the government.
Right.
So it's the sadder part is the mental part that they've done on our people. You know, the buck breaking is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that dealing with a Black woman today, she knows she can yell at me and say the craziest thing she wants because at the end of the day, the police will come kill me. Right.
That's crazy.
And she knows it.
See, and that's why I don't engage.
Relationship a lot of times. That mental part of it, you know. So I would say to what you're saying is for the Black woman to be conscious of that.
Be conscious of
to
that.
Understand that just like as a man, there's nothing a Black woman has to do to earn my respect.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing she has to qualify for for me to treat her like a woman. She can be a billionaire. Mm-hmm. If she's out with me, I'm going to still offer to buy you a drink.
Right.
Because it's not about money. It's not about me trying to evoke my power over you. Mm-hmm. Evolve it. So it's just strange to me that when the tables are flipped, that's how the women respond.
Right.
You know? And I think that's not something that's natural. I think that it's been programmed us to do that to our people.
Right.
You know, and it's just, and it may work for other cultures of people. Like it may work. I think particularly for our culture, we can't do that.
Right.
We got to respect one another regardless of our financial standings.
Right.
Or like you said, like there's always something going on.
Right. Right.
So just let it go.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
We both come from slavery.
Yes.
We both under the thumb.
Yes.
So let's just chill.
Yeah. See, me, I don't my exes will tell you, she ain't gonna argue with you. She ain't gonna argue with you. Not gonna do that. It's so disrespectful. We can have a conversation. But if you get too loud, I'll get loud just to show you loud, and then I'll bring it back down.
But you shouldn't do that. You know why? Because this is the thing. As a man, I'm gonna tell you the difference. This is why you shouldn't do it, right? It's because as a man, if I'm arguing with another man, before the argument starts, I'm already thinking, can I beat this nigga? This is the natural thing. Can I take him? Right?
Yeah.
If I can't take him, I gotta watch my tone the rest of this conversation.
Right.
That's just how I look. That's I can't. Yeah. I can't call for help. As a man, you can't call for help.
No, I don't argue. I was just kidding. I don't do that.
No. So it's fine. No. But I would just say, just as a woman, it's not that you don't have the ability to, right? It's just understand the mental health issues is going to cause in that man for him not to be able to evoke him being a man.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Because as a woman, you can stand there and yell and scream and no, there's nothing you can do.
No.
But understand the mental gymnastic in my head is going, the only reason I can't stop her from doing this is because she'll get me killed. Yeah. Which it shouldn't be that. It should be, I'm not doing this because I respect her. Yeah. I'm not doing this because, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We shouldn't have those barriers in as people in our relationships. Right. The only reason I'm respecting you, even think about it as a man saying, the reason I'm not beating my woman is because she can call the police. That's a horrible relationship. Yeah. Right? Versus saying, hey, how about, no, it's just because you're a beautiful black woman and I don't need to. Yeah. You know, so I think that a lot of times that causes a lot of strife in our situation. Yeah. That is crazy. It's the buck breaking up. We can't, man. It's our mental health. Man. I'm thinking too on our next show, I think I want to talk about, because, I'm a single woman and people often say to me, it must be something with you. Yeah. It must be something with you. All men think that. But what about the fact that it's just some things I don't want to deal with? I'd rather be single than to deal with stupidity. I'm not going to say stupidity. Some things. Because this is the thing that all men understand about men. What? Men are simple. All men understand this about other men. So if you're not with a man, it's you. Because it may be me. All men are simple. All of us. There's not a man on this planet who's complicated. It's not possible. If it is, he's probably on the LGBT team. On the who? The alphabet team. Alphabet team. We're K-Dot. I need K-Dot. Well, I'm going to see if I can get K-Dot on here next week. Yeah, I'm going to have K-Dot. Let me see. I need K-Dot. I need Diane. So, Doc, what would be if someone was asked you generally, you didn't want to dive deep into it. Somebody said, hey, why are you single? What's your general answer when men ask you this? What do you tell them? You want to really know? I want the simple answer. It's not a simple answer. This is why it's you. Some of the things are because I've had men, we'll start a relationship, and this always happens. If he finds out my salary, becomes intimidated. Why? It makes him feel some kind of way. I don't understand why. I don't understand why either. I treat him well. What emotions? Like, what do you mean it makes him feel kind of? What emotions do you notice when a man find out what you make, right? What emotions do you start to notice in him that you notice, like, oh now he's all comfortable? He just pouts. The last one I had, pouts and. About what? You make more money than me. What does that mean? I'm not treating you any different. You're getting the best of all worlds. I'll tell you. Okay, I can understand what he's saying. This is the difference, right? I don't throw it in his face. It doesn't matter. This is the sad part. When I make money, it belongs to the family. Yeah. It's for me to take care of my family. Yeah. When we have kids, all of that. That's what I do. No. That's what you do. But that's not what your money is for. That's the difference. That's what he's saying to you. See, he said, if a man tells a woman, this is what I told my wife before we got married. I said, hey, check this out. When you get with me, you don't have no money. You ain't got no car. You don't even have no clothes. Mm-hmm. Everything you own is mine. Period. That's the agreement. Is that right? Period. Okay, let's talk about it. You don't have nothing. Because it's my job to protect all of this. Mm-hmm. You ain't got nothing. Mm-hmm. It's all my stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the table we run on, okay? Because that's how we think as men. I don't have nothing. Everything I have is for her. Okay. And my family. Okay. I don't have nothing. Okay. There ain't nothing I have I wouldn't sell to make her feel better. Mm-hmm. But women don't think like that. Women think this is mine. You should have yours. I can give you a little bit of this.
Oh no.
I'm not saying you.
No,
I
not
can
me.
help you out. I can spread a little bit over there. But this is it's a clear line. A man understands when a woman has money. It's her money. When a man has money, it ain't his money. It's our money. So that's what I'm saying.
He didn't operate like that.
No. I'm saying women don't operate like that. Women don't necessarily operate like this is ours.
I do.
No, you said.
I do.
You said your salary.
Listen, I operate like that. I swear to you.
It's impossible. You know why women want rich men?
Why?
Because they share their money.
I'm just now starting to want that.
Women.
He don't have to be rich. Women need to have his own shit though.
So that the rich man can share his money and opportunities, his resources. Period. That's why you want him. That should be common knowledge for the woman. If you're a well-off woman, you should share your resources.
I do.
I'm not saying you don't.
Okay.
But you should not share it in the sense of this is mine and I'm giving you some of this.
I don't.
I'm not saying you do.
Oh.
That's generally how it is.
Now I've had it that way. So I operate like that. That's how I operate. But my last relationship was just what you said, but what he had, his thinking wasn't like that. Like he wasn't on no share, put the money in a pot and we just operate off of it.
That's not what I said. See, you still trying to say
what's his is mine, what's mine is his.
No. What's yours is mine. You have nothing. Let it go.
Oh shit! No, I work too hard for that.
That's why you gonna be saying
nah.
So right, you rather your boss be your husband than your man. It's fine. That was what I was saying this whole time.
Oh, we'll get into that.
The cop can be your husband, or your job can be your husband. Or you can have a real person.
When you gonna start your Saturday show back up?
I need to, because y'all tripping.
Yeah, you need to. I'm ready to rip into you. I'm ready to rip into you, Yahuda.
I need to do a show this show.
You do. I gotta go to a 2-year-old birthday party. But I can come.
How to submit yourself. That might be the segment. How to submit yourself.
Well, you know what? I need one that's worth me submitting.
Nope, that ain't what it said.
The other thing, this the phone?
No.
Oh. The other thing too is I need a man that's a leader.
You need to stop putting these qualifications up.
He needs to be a leader.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need to lead.
You don't. He needs to be a man. That's it. All he needs to do is be black and born with a penis, Doc. That's the only qualification check.
What?
That's it. That's the only. Why does it? As a woman, ain't no man coming along putting no list together for y'all. So why do you think? Vacations to coach you. Like we're born like this. I'm born a coach. You born a player. Not that serious. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
That's what the Bible says, Doc. The Bible says that the man is the head of the household. He was born to be the
True.
head. The woman was not born to lead the man.
I don't want to lead. That's the problem.
No, you do, because you're trying.
I don't want to lead.
I'll tell you why I'm saying this.
Okay.
You're qualify the man to be a leader, but you're not even a leader to qualify me to be a leader. It doesn't even make sense. How can you, as a person who's not born a leader, look at me and judge my leadership? It makes no sense.
Oh, does anybody want to call in? Anybody got a comment? 747-260-0268. My thing is this. I've had men that were able to lead well where I didn't have to worry about anything. And I've had them that would have led me down a deep, dark hole in a ditch if I didn't say, no, enough.
No. See, that's not leadership. Leadership is not me controlling you and telling you what to do.
Not control.
Leadership is not me telling you what to do.
Okay.
Leadership is protection and providing. You know I'm supposed to provide? Guidance. Okay. So when my woman come to me or I'm having a stressful day, this is how you deal with stress. Not to hear your problems, not to hear you complain about the earth. That ain't my job on this planet. My job is to tell you, hey, what you're going through is not that serious. Let it go. That's the guidance. The protection is somebody breaking your house. You ain't got to call the police. You got to wait for the cops to get there. I'm going to be there. When they get there, and we're going to figure it out right there. You ain't got to wait for nobody to come help you. You already have. That's it. That's the man's only qualification.
That's what my pit and my 45 and my 9 and my shotgun and my rifle is for. I do need a man. No, you don't. But I got his back too.
You have a pit bull. You got a 45. You got the police. You got a career. You're building your own fake man.
So I don't want to be a man.
No, you have a virtual man.
I don't have a virtual man. No, I don't.
Doc, I'm gonna name him right now.
No, that is not a man.
Listen, this is your man. He a transformer. He's combined with a pit bull, a nice job, a nice car that you don't have to have any man come do maintenance on. Right? A gun, so you don't need. This is your man. Your man is a transformer.
He is not a transformer.
All these things you have accumulated in your life to build a man. So you got like a straw man. That's gonna be the name of my topic, the straw man.
The straw man. Oh, no, it's gonna be our topic. We're gonna have a show.
Y'all building the
straw
man. Black women build the straw man. And then that
the straw man.
That becomes your husband. It's all
no,
the pieces that you put together. So you don't have to. And you know what? You know what the only reason you're doing it?
Why?
Because you don't want to submit yourself into a man. You don't want to be under any authority.
I do. You don't know how badly. So, okay, I'm going to tell you the truth. I actually met someone that I really, really, really am digging. I like.
Listen, this is what you should ask yourself, okay? Because that's what the Bible says. And this is the only way a relationship is going to work. It says, wives, submit yourself to your husband as you do the Lord. So every time you meet a man, that should be the question on your head.
What?
Not can I, not qualifying this man.
Okay.
You should be saying, would I? He does not need to show you nothing to qualify him to lead you. It says submit yourself.
So would I submit myself to this man?
That's not if he's qualified to lead you. That is not on the table. You need to ask yourself, am I willing to take on this challenge to listen to this man and not go back and forth with him? Not give him a better idea.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That should be your thought process.
Yeah.
When you looking at a man, judging you should be with him or not. It should be not do I like him, not is he responsible, none of that.
Okay.
It should be, can I submit myself to this man and deal with whatever consequences are? Because I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. Maybe not even 50% of the time. I may tell you to do something and blow the whole money. I may lead us down a dark alley we both get robbed. Might do it.
Yeah.
I still can't lose my job as the coach. And that's the risk we both take.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to say, you know what? I know going into it, he's not going to be 100% right all the time.
Right.
I know going into it, he's going to mess up sometimes.
Yeah.
But I still have to do my part.
Yeah.
I still have to roll with whatever comes with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I could. It's going to be fun.
You get rid of the gun and the dog.
If he's there every night, sure.
See, no qualifications, man. You should think about that stuff before you get with him.
I said if he's there every night, sure.
Huh? There's no no qualifications. Once you say this, your man's, what you saying is, I'm submitting to him like you do the Lord. You don't question God, do you? I would hope not. You probably do, like most of them. Most of them question the Lord every day.
No, I don't question God.
But you shouldn't. But if
I
you
don't.
do, whatever.
I don't.
I do sometimes. So
I don't.
What he's saying is submit yourself as you do the Lord, which basically meaning
I was taught not to.
Trust the process.
Right.
It may not look good all the time. He may not look like he's right all the time, but you got to trust that the Most High is telling you, if you do your part, I got it. It's just that simple. Or you can bank on your own knowledge. Or you could just say, you know what? I know he's going to fumble, but I'm still running with this quarterback. It don't matter if he fumble or not.
Yeah.
I'm still rocking with my team.
Yeah.
It don't matter if he could shoot the shot and lose the game. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I'm still rolling with him.
Yeah.
Because some games we going to win.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
But y'all want a nigga to be 100%, which is crazy.
No, we all fumble and make mistakes. You rooting for me?
You need counseling. You need a therapist. You have a therapist? I know you are a therapist.
You know what? I don't, and I do need one, especially since my grandma passed. Huh?
Therapists need therapists?
Yeah, we do.
Guys, y'all hear that? Even a therapist needs a therapist.
Even a therapist needs a therapist. I say that all the time. I mean, think about all the stuff that comes to us. Right. Even just not to take it home, you need a place to lay it. Y'all see me in my car driving, talking to myself. It's just getting it off my chest. I ain't crazy. People say, you can talk to yourself as long as you don't answer yourself. Oh, I answer myself sometimes too. Don't play with me. Yes. My girl Diane on here. You need to be hitting the freeway, shouldn't you?
You want to, okay, that's fine. You want to tell them what the song is again?
Okay, so this song, all of my shows, all of them are dedicated to my amazing grandmother, mother extraordinaire, queen, Mrs. Gladys Jean Tobin Kilgore. I am her clone. Look at my grandmother. That is my face. Do y'all know my grandmother lived to be almost 100 years old? That is such a blessing. She would have been 95 in October. Yes, I remember we had a huge birthday party for her when she turned 75. She was so surprised. All of her siblings came. It was so fantastic. So you got to celebrate your loved ones when you can, while you can, and cut all the bickering down in the family. We only got one person, well, I'm going to say two, that keeps shit going. I went all the way down to LA to handle some business for the church and for my family and had somebody lie to my face. And it really pissed me off. And I confronted them because I'm a very straightforward person and I don't mix words and I don't play games. And it's a shame because you should know me by now. You've been in the family long enough to know better. So don't play with me because all your business will be out in the street. Your kids, your grandkids, and their kids too will really know what you about. Don't play with me. Not when it comes to my family. We don't play them games. So get it together. So all of my shows are dedicated to my grandmother. And my grandmother would not be disappointed because she know how she raised me to be. Straight up. This song is by Mr. Billy Preston. It is called Grandma's Hands. And you guys are actually going to see my beautiful grandmother on the screen. This is a plaque. I don't know. This is not the final one. So this one might have a few errors in it because I had to keep going back and forth with the trophy people because they were writing stuff wrong and putting capitals and commas where they didn't belong. But the final one, I'll have that one the next time I come on. So maybe next week we can rerun a show because her services are actually next week. And so I won't be here. But unless my auntie decides to change it again. But we'll see. So so you guys, I thank you for joining me today. Please keep me and my family uplifted in your prayers. And congratulations again to my amazing son on his accomplishments. So glad I get to see my baby again, y'all. And Diane, get the trucking. And, and thank you, Yahuda, for always being so kind to me. You guys don't know this young man. He's family. He and his wife are family to me. They are amazing amazing, amazing young people. And wrong he is. You gotta love them. Anybody who stands by their convictions they are all right with me. I don't care what it is. I don't have to agree. I don't have to disagree. But the fact is, consistency is key, and that's what's up. Realness is what's up, right? But you guys enjoy this song. I hope that you feel it as much as I feel it. If it wasn't your grandma, but your grandpa or your mama or your daddy or your auntie, or maybe you are someone um, that is exemplary of grandma's hands. Just enjoy this song. All right. And I'll see you guys soon. Be blessed. Play the tambourine so well, grandma's hand used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast, might fall on a piece of glass, might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hand, eyes in grandma's hand, soothes the London mother. Grandma's hand used to ache sometimes and swell. Oh, grandma's hand used to lift the face and tell her she'd say, baby, grandma understand that you really love that man. Put yourself in Jesus' hand. Grandma's hand. That's a dope song. Thank you. I love that song. Next time maybe we'll do Sadie.
You know a song I cannot listen to. You ever heard of Missing You?
Which one? DMX and Faith Evans. DMX? Really?
Yeah, DMX, that's my favorite rapper of all time.
Okay.
But this is why. Like, wow. I never seen this nigga did a concert and he doing, where my dogs at? And like, so you got gangster niggas like hyped, right? Like, you think a fight about to happen. Then he did girls, so he named all the girls Brenda, the teacher, like, so he do that, so all the girls is going crazy. He ends the concert with the song about his grandma. All the same gangsters and all the same strippers, everyone's in tears.
Wow.
I said I had never seen someone hit the whole gambit of emotions in one performance. And this dude on stage, and I'm watching it like, oh, this. But when I tell you, he sounds like he grew up in my household.
Wow.
Like, it got to, like, now I can listen to the song, but for like 15 years, like, wow, it would come on and I would just be like, hey, somebody got to turn that. We're not doing that today.
Yeah, it's different when you because your grandma just died a year ago, a little over a year ago.
No, this is my grandma. I'm talking about when I was 10.
Oh,
When I heard the song, I thought this nigga grew up in my house.